Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
We talked about it all. We're those people that friendship is the only cement that will ever hold the world together. I promise you, you're going to learn a lot with this conversation.
We are 910 AM Superstation. The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Where my girls at?
It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. I'm so excited. It's going down. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. What do you know? Today is Earth Day, and yesterday we talked about climate change. I mean, for real, for real, for real. We are always early because we got issues. We are always early because we got issues. It doesn't matter that you're on time. No, no, no. A day early is always better. So welcome to 910 AM, the Superstation, WFDF out of Detroit. And we're so happy to be with you guys. Facebook is lighting up the chat. We're so excited. You guys, we're bringing you the Force of Friendship, where we really, 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 really like to bring you exciting, interesting topics, exciting, interesting guests, amazing people. We're just here to lift up girlfriends, to let you know what it's like to always have good girlfriends, to be there for each other in every way possible. And all times, it matters. It matters a lot. But we're here to bring some heat, some love. Ooh, this week has been exciting. Ooh, we've had some controversy. Ooh, there's a lot going on in the world, and we're super excited about that. So listen, we're going to go first to the one that's on the radio today. Sabrina Goodwin Monday is on the radio. So Sabrina, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Girlfriend, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I am road tripping with my husband. We're on our way to Pennsylvania. So, you know, it's wrestling. So we're chasing these young cats. They're the champions. So that's what we're doing this weekend, Gloria. I'm excited for the show today. Yes, it's going to be a great, informative show.
Yes. But Sabrina, tell us a little bit more about what's going on. You guys going to Princeton?
No, we're not going to Princeton. We're going to Pennsylvania. And so Kenny has an all-star team that he's put together for Fire Institute. And these young wrestlers are coming from all over the country. He's put an all-star team together. And we're going to, what's the name? What are we doing? What's the name of school? Penn State. So we're at the Penn State to coach and watch wrestling this weekend.
Okay, well, you know, like in a true white fashion, when we go to commercial, you get the real facts, okay? You get a true understanding of where you're going, because I know you just threw some clothes in the suitcase and said, I'm here with you, baby. I am here with you wherever we're going, whatever you're doing, we are here with you, because that is a true girlfriend of a true boyfriend, okay? So we just know that all great, you get us the facts. We're going to head out to the West Coast. What's going on, Caterina? What's going on, Caterina?
Katrina talks to y'all. Seriously. Caterina, can I say to you in front of everybody, we are so appreciative of you. Seriously. Oh my gosh, we got some drama going on before the show. I was like, what? And I looked at Caterina, I got it. I was like, okay. So welcome to our techie mastermind here. Caterina, what's going on out on the West Coast?
Well, what's going on too, since we're talking about husbands, is yesterday my mom said, have you talked to your husband? I was like, no. She was concerned. I wasn't. When the husbands are in the zone, I'm like, he's traveling, he's doing his thing. I said, what time you get home last night? At 9:00, and I crashed. I was like, you didn't call your wife, So this morning he called me, the call dropped, called me back again, the call dropped, and then he didn't call back. I was like, okay, I guess you're gone. We got it like that. He is in his zone, moving, doing his world. What'd you say?
Where is he?
He's in Chicago. But in a minute, by the time he will be at the airport headed to Charlotte. And I'm like, I just need you to bring me 2 things from that closet. So probably in the middle of the radio show, he's going to say, what pants you want? I'm like, I need 2 pair of pants, okay? Because I'm going to see my girlfriends and I need those pants for that party. So, but look at this for the Facebook audience. The radio audience will describe it. My cousin came by, and he was with part of what he does. He was with President Obama, Gloria, and he was with our current president and our current vice president. And he brought me this official commemorative pendant. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it will never come out of the plastic, representing the first female vice president. It's a commemorative thing. Okay.
Celebration of Kamala Harris. Yeah.
Celebration of Kamala Harris. And so he brought me this as he was just with our former president, our president, and our vice president, which is a big deal, a big deal. So
now, what was your cousin doing there? Excited.
Well, he does, based on what he does in his former career, he is a lot of times on that detail. So it is just really a blessing to have him. There's a whole bunch of stuff. The people who can't tell you everything they do.
Now, I was wondering, I said, ooh, Caterina's smooth, y'all. She's smooth. Well, in his former detail, in his present detail, and tomorrow, we'll never know what he does. We don't know how he does it.
He'll never be on the show, okay? He will never be on the show. You just want to look at his phone and say, now what was that text about? Yeah, that kind of stuff. So yes.
That's awesome, with the former president, current president, and the vice president. That is awesome. That is so awesome.
A big deal. I heard, a big deal. So,
my girlfriend Angela was with me today, and I heard that the vice president is going to be the speaker at the commencement at TSU.
Wow.
I know. Yes, Sabrina. I know. She said that was so amazing, so exciting. So I was like, "Oh, lean in." Ooh, I said, "Can you get tickets to that? Can you get tickets?"
I know. Everybody wants to go to the graduation.
Right. So good. What's going on, Crisette? What's happening in Detroit?
Hey, everybody. Well, listen, my man is gone too. Okay, I'm not with my man this time. He got on a plane this morning and flew to New Orleans so that he could be there for the next Pelicans game. When I tell you, he is so excited about the head coach, of course, Willie Green. He grew up at our church. He went to our church schools as a young boy, and now he is doing it. When I tell you, they were not expected to be in the playoffs at all, and now they are just winning. So Chuck was like, I got to be in the house. I got to be in the house. So I was like, you got to be in the house, but you leaving me in the house. He said, yep. He took his golf clubs and he got on a plane this morning, and he is in New Orleans. He'll be there until Monday. Yeah. So he's excited.
So he's going to play golf down there?
He's going to play golf, and then he's definitely going to the games because, it's nice and warm in New Orleans. So yeah, yep.
Church on Sunday is serious.
Okay, it's serious.
Okay, it's serious. So he said, tag you it for Sunday. I was like, okay, all right. So yeah, he is so, and we are so proud of Willie Green and just the young man that he has become and what he's doing and how he is turning that team around. But I tell you, the buzz is about Willie Green because he is doing something that they weren't even expected to be in the playoffs. So, you know what? We're just going to keep.
And you know what? Miracles happen all the time. So we're just excited where he is. So that's where Chuck is. But you guys, did you all, and I don't know all of it, but this is real interesting what Florida, what they're doing with Disney.
Yes.
Now that is a conversation. So the Florida
Do you understand
legislation.
it, Chris? Okay,
I don't
explain
understand it all, but okay, I'm going to read, okay, because I don't understand. So somebody that understands this, they absolutely can call in 313-778-7600. But it says the Florida legislature passed a bill yesterday that would eliminate the unique legal status that allows Disney to operate as an independent government around its Orlando area theme park. And now, from what I hear, is that because they're taking that away, it's literally going to cause the Floridians to have to pay more money in taxes and so on and so forth. Somebody just said our governor is loco. It said the Republican-led government has taken aim at Disney, the largest single state employer in the state, for its objection to the legislation that prohibits certain classroom discussion on sexual orientation and gender identity. The bill would dissolve the special district on June 1st, previously allowed Disney to manage land within its boundaries and provide its own public services such as firefighting and police. And so this is a big deal. So the Republicans are mad at Disney. How can you be mad at Disney? Disney is the most wonderful place in the world, right? But hey,
and one of the biggest supporters of the Republicans. Did you know that? Disney is one of the biggest supporters of the Republican Party, period. And one of the biggest supporters in Florida. So this is really, the governor is loco, just like loco. Loco, that's what you said, Carolyn.
But you know what this is showing us, and I'm sure it has always existed in politics, but it's like, come on, you getting revenge because they didn't agree 100% with what you want to do. I mean, I'm a Democrat. I don't agree with everything the Democratic Party does, but I'm a Democrat. So there are times where you can look at your party and say, I agree with 80% of what you do, 15% I don't. In marriage, you don't agree with every single thing your spouse does with your children. So that is just life. You know, I don't know anybody that agrees 100% other than us, and we got issues. But other than that, I don't know anybody that agrees 100% of the time. And then to just do this as revenge. See, that's the part that makes me mad. If they were doing it because, you know, they had been thinking about doing it and now's the time to do it, but you're doing it because they didn't agree with you.
Right. Retaliation. Oh, you guys, it's a lot going on.
That was what I didn't understand, Chris, is I didn't understand what was the reason behind it. But what I did know, because of Disney and who they are and the influence and the money and everything that comes in, I said, I promise you, this is a political move. It is not, that's what it is. And I knew there had to be a retaliation move. And I was like, somebody made somebody mad. What happened?
Oh my gosh, you guys,
Carolyn,
this is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Carolyn Muse says, what did she say? Oh, DeSantis is a narcissist. Everything he does makes no sense.
Well, we agree. We're not political on this station, but we agree. We're not political, but we agree because we got issues, and he got issues, so he fall right in camp with the we got issues. Listen, before we go to break, we got our guest on line, and she's calling in, and I'm so excited for y'all to meet First Lady LaKesia Barrett, and she's going to introduce herself right after the break. But I just want to tell you that her story is riveting. I met her out in California, and we just connected in that conversation. We took some pictures. I cannot wait for you to hear her story, her background. I'm going to ask her to tell everything. Now, let me just say this to you. She is not going to be, you're not going to see her face on StreamYard to the Facebook community, but we're going to hear her voice and we're going to hear her story. So we'll be right back right after the break. We're so very excited to have you guys all with us on this happy Friday. We'll see you in just a minute. We got issues at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. Here we go. Here we go. Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Where my girls at? It's so serious. It's so serious, you guys. Thank you, Jalen. You're doing an awesome job. And Caitlin's on here. So we're so excited. So excited. You guys, seriously, I am excited to introduce you to LaKesia, First Lady. She's an amazing woman. She's a very dynamic person. And I've absolutely loved her story. So I thought, there's something amazing when you hear people's stories and you hear their guidance. And it's something that we've all been familiar with when we've been mentors, involved in it, our own kids, whatever it is, to help someone through an illness, when only you're the only one who believes in the fact that everything is going to be okay and you fought for it all the way through. So I'm so proud to have her as a guest. Let me tell you a little bit about LaKesia. Born in Kansas City, Missouri, LaKesia Rambo Barrett, destiny is to be used by God. This godly woman has many titles. While LaKesia's been known for her role in Beyond the Shield, And as a gospel recording artist, she is most proud to hold the title of titles of wife, mother, and first lady of Do Right Christian Church located in Los Angeles, California. This bold woman of Christ is a prayer warrior, dynamic speaker, and a powerhouse vocalist, always ready and willing to present her reasonable service unto God. LaKesia's obedience to the Holy Spirit has prompted her to encourage and pray for others without hesitation. What I love about her too, you guys, is many times she goes on Zoom and she shares what she's doing with other women so that everybody can take a peek in. LaKesia, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. I'm with you. Hello, beautiful people.
Yay! Oh, David gave applause. Wonderful. I'm so very excited. This is so awesome. Tell them a little bit about your story. But first, before you tell them the story, in your own words, I always ask the guests, we always ask ourselves to really take a minute and brag with the community about who we are. Don't hold anything back. We want them to know how phenomenal so many people are in our community. We want to hear a little bit about you. So talk a little bit.
Amen. So I am LaKesia Rambo here, and I am the first lady of the Do Right Christian Church located at 9815 South Vermont. My name is Husband, is Pastor Michael G. Barrett. I am the lead actress in a movie called Beyond the Shield that was produced by my amazing husband. Also, and I'm also a gospel recording artist, and I'm the mother of two beautiful children. LaKesia and Kamora, and LaKesia will be who I will be bragging about today. And I am a servant for the Lord, just ready and living for this. Whatever He asks me to do, I'm super excited about meeting you, Ms. Baker, and thank you guys for having me on your show. And I'm just in.
We're so excited. You know, one of the things when we were talking, you were talking about the journey, and you're talking about your upbringing, and you're talking about your raised in the church, and you had to do great outlook on why that was such a significant for you. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you grew up, and how you got to this.
So I am definitely a PK kid. My grandfather, Pastor Reverend Emmanuel Rambo of True Light Missionary Baptist Church. He is 91 years young. He is yet still the pastor of True Love Missionary Baptist Church. And I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. My mother, Joanne Hughes, I'm the oldest of three. My sister, Chica, my brother, Lawrence, and I. And we're just super excited to, I'm just excited that the Lord, took my calling to another level. My grandfather used to always tell me that I was going to be married to a pastor, and I would say, I don't date those kind of men, but clearly I was wrong because I'm now married to a pastor.
Excellent. So then, go ahead and tell us the story that you were telling me before, the story of, you got a great background and how you moved out to California. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay, so I was moving to California following my music career. Got to California and life changed, life happened. And
when you say I didn't do it, what do you mean about your music career?
At that time, I was pursuing a secular music. And, I thought that that's where God wanted me. I was with a lot of celebrities at the time, and, the Lord was just saying, nope, it's not going to happen. And I was just like, I was really confused. I thought that I'd done something wrong. I thought that, the Lord, I just thought that it was me. And then I found out, no, that it wasn't me, that it was just God protecting me. I had been around a lot of entertainers at the time, and different things like that. Sometimes when you think that God is blocking you, He's actually protecting you. And I later found that out when He started showing me like, you know, I protected you because of this, I protected you because of that. And moving forward, I ended up having a daughter at 31 and moved back home to Kansas City for a lot of different reasons. So at 31, I find myself pregnant, and now I'm having a daughter at 31, and my daughter ends up getting sick when she was 4 years old. She was at school one day, and the teachers, you know, they kept telling me, you know, something is not right with LaKezia's arm. And I'm thinking, like, what do you mean something is not right with LaKezia's arm? And they were like, you know, something is not right with LaKezia. You should really get her checked out. So I was like, okay, well, you know, let me figure out, you know, what's going on. I found out that she was experiencing a lot of different things that, you know, I didn't know. I thought I was messed up until I took her to the hospital and found out that my daughter was experiencing a brain tumor. And we did a bunch of Q&As, and the doctor looked at LaKesia. She was like, LaKesia was answering all the questions. I was just able to log in. Can you guys hear me? Oh, on the pod. I was like, what? It sounded like
on the pod. No, let me tell you, I over at this hotel. I said, do you guys have a computer I can use? I have to be on this podcast. This Los Angeles traffic is crazy. I'm not going to be on a podcast where they just hear my voice. So I pulled over. This lady in the hotel, she was gracious enough to let me log in, and I've been typing, trying to, the computer was asking me for these authenticators and all this. Like, just let me get on, Jesus. So here I am, ladies.
You know, because listen, I'm telling you,
he was not going to stop me for being on this podcast.
Right. When we talked on the phone before, she was like, add it. And I keep hearing you go, pause. I said, something is going on in the background. So we're very excited to see your face. We're very excited to see your tenacity, because that is what I want people to hear. I want them to see your faith in the Lord and your tenacity for advocating for yourself and for your child. Y'all walked into the hotel and said, can I use your computer? Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, I make to get on. And then I was like, please, let me get on. So I had to pull over because today been crazy. LA traffic is the worst. And so, yes. So, you know, as a mother, you think that you know everything about your child. And I thought I did. LaKesia was 4 years old, took her to the doctor, bunch of Q&As. And LaKesia was like, sometimes my right hand don't work, so I just use my left hand. And I'm looking at her like, how is that possible? And long story short, she was having a stroke. And so the doctor looked at me and she said, I don't know, you know, I'll tell you this, but your daughter has either had a stroke or she's having one right now. Either way, we have to get her to, you know, an MRI. I called my father, who was my pastor at the time, and I said, Granddaddy, I don't know where you are, but I got to come see you. Rushed down to my aunt's house, and people used to always ask my grandfather to pray for them and lay hands. And, you know, I used to just think the ladies wanted him to touch them. I'm just being honest, but I found out that he really is anointed. And so he laid hands on my daughter. He put his hand right here, and he put his hand in the back, and he began to pray in my Aunt Arma Mae's driveway, and the car jumped. And I said, whoa. I said, Granddaddy, did you feel that? He said, it's done. And so I was like, wow, okay. So the next day, my mother, my grandfather, and my daughter and I, we go to Children's Mercy out north in Kansas City, Missouri. They do a CAT scan on her. And while the doctor called me in, looking at the computer screen, just like I'm looking at you beautiful ladies, and the doctor says, do you see the image of her brain? I said, yes. She said, do you see the big mass that in her skull? I said, yeah. She said, well, that's a brain tumor. Excuse me? And when she said brain tumor, LaKesia said, her whole body just shifted right before our eyes. I passed out blue. And I passed
You
out.
passed out.
I passed all the way out completely.
Wow.
And they ran and got my mother and my grandfather. They brought them in. And at this time, they're rushing to get LaKesia because they don't want her to start having a seizure because she's had a full-blown stroke in front of our eyes at 4. And they're telling,
Wait a minute. We're going to go to a commercial right in the middle of this. I'm telling you. Okay, LaKesia, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come right back and hope you wake up from falling on the ground when they told you your daughter's sick and you just fall right out. So I will be right back.
Okay.
We got issues. You guys, we got issues. This show is We Got Issues. So many issues. This is 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. And she made it. Went to the hotel and got a computer. We'll be right back at you. Right back after this break. Let's see. Here we are. We are here and we are back. I don't care what you say. I can listen to our own commercial all day, every day. I know everybody's voice. I know everybody's comment. It's a blessed day. That's my favorite part. So we're so excited to be back here. LaKesia, tell us what happened. You faint on the floor. Bam. They go get your mother and your grandfather. Tell us what happens.
Yes, they go get my mom and my grandfather. They explained to them, that LaKeia, they had found a brain tumor size of a tennis ball. LaKeia's crying when she's 4, and they're rushing her to go give her IVs. And at the time, we used to watch Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, and Whitney Houston used to say, "Hail to the all." And so they explained that, listen, she has a huge brain tumor. She just had a stroke. We're going to give her some steroids so that she doesn't have seizure, but we're going to have to triage her by ambulance to Children's Mercy, the main hospital. So I tell her, I said, LaKeia, you're going to get in a little kid's limo, and they're going to take you to the hospital because you're really sick. At this point, she's crying. She's like, "Mommy, I'm not sick. I'll be a good girl. Please, I'm hurting." I'm kind of looking at her like, "Baby, you're very sick." But she walked in the hospital. She, even though her body's switching and cooling, she doesn't understand. She's only 4. And I'm trying to hold it together. Oh, I forgot to tell you how my mama slapped me back into into my senses. And I'm telling her, I said, "LaKeia, you're gonna have to ride into this kid's limo." And she said, "Hell to the no, Mama, that's not no limo, that's an ambulance." I'm not kidding. And I was like, oh my God, she just said hell to the no. So we all laughed because we needed a laugh to break the momentum. And they triaged her down to the hospital. At 4, she still would tell you, "Don't come in this room crying. This is a blessed room." And I remember being mad at the devil. And I want everybody to understand this. When this happened to me, I took it personal because I'm like, "Devil, how dare you, try me?" I was 31 when I finally had my baby. And I remember seeing LaKeia in the bed. My mom sleep, my aunt, rest in peace. She was there. She slept. This was on a Monday. So that Tuesday, they did a intense CAT scan, and the doctor looked at my mom and I, Dr. Horner. He said, "Listen, this brain tumor is too big to send her home. We don't know if it's benign or malignant. I don't even know how she's still alive." And I was like, "You just looking at me and you just tell me my baby is still like 4 years old?" I'm numb and I'm hearing it, but I'm 100% not receiving it. And so he's telling me, the next 18 years of her life is going to be long. All I can tell you is that we're going to go in, we're going to be really careful. We're going to try not to kill her. We're going to try not to blind her. We're going to try not to paralyze her. And I'm just looking at him and I'm hearing it, but I'm knowing that my baby, this can't be happening. But it was. And so I began to pray and I asked God. First, I was angry and I started telling the devil, like, "Devil, how dare you try me?" And I never used to hear the voice of the Lord, but I did for the first time. And I heard God say to me, "How dare you give the devil my joy?" And I was like, I'm looking around, see who talked. And that if this was the devil, she'd be dead because he come to kill, steal, and destroy. He said, "I'm using her to get your attention. And if you allow me to use her, I'm going to show you something." At the time, I'm 31. I'm ready to move back to California. And the Lord knew that wasn't the best move for me. I'm not saying that he allowed sickness to fall upon my daughter because of that, but he 100% got my attention. And I could not move for the next 10 years because she was very ill. And so I began to pray and I said, "Lord, I need you to make me a prayer warrior, not just for LaKeia, but for every person that I meet, because I couldn't take my grandfather home with me. I couldn't take my uncle Julius home with me. I couldn't take my cousin Ricky. I couldn't take all these men of God home with me." And at the time, I didn't even know a woman of God because all of the ministers in our family at that time were men. None of us had accepted our calling.
Hey, LaKesia, hold one there. Hold right there for 1 second. LaKesia, hold right there for 1 second. We have a caller, and we want to see what Lisa called in about. Lisa, welcome calling in for We Got Issues. We're so glad that you called in 313-778-7600 to We Got Issues. And I know you're excited. So, Lisa, tell us what you called about. How are you?
How are you? I'm blessed. How are you all in Detroit? I'm in Toledo, Ohio. I'm blessed. I got on late, but I got on. And it's just everything. Financial. That's issues. We all got financial issues, but we know God is our source. Amen. Right. Have you been listening to the show? I just got on about 5 minutes or less. Okay, well, we're glad that you called in. Continue to listen with us, okay? I will. Thank you. God bless you all. Have a safe night. You too.
Keisha, go ahead. So you asked God to turn you into a prayer warrior.
Yes, I asked God to make me a prayer warrior, so that I could just be able to pray and get through this, what I was going through, because I knew it was going to be a long road. They went in on May the 16th on a Friday, 2008. He was in there. Prior to that, she had been getting steroid shots. So she had convinced the nurses to let her shoot, the steroids in because it was really burning her. So they would be like explaining, oh, it's not going to hurt. She said, I don't know about you, but that's a bear. It hurt me when they shooting me. So when they got ready to give her the anesthesiology came in and they got ready to put her to sleep, she said, no, let me do it. So the anesthesiologist looked at me and he said, this is to put her to sleep. I said, but yeah, y'all not going to do the surgery without it because she's not going to let y'all do it. They let her put herself to sleep. It was pushing in the little needle. And she said, Mommy, don't eat me. And she finally just passed out. And I'll never forget that. I thought that was the cutest thing. But moving forward, the surgeon came out and he said, it's benign and not malignant. So I could be a little bit more aggressive.
Right.
Wasn't even clear on benign and not malignant at this time because it's 8 hours and I just want my baby out of surgery.
Right.
But when he came out, when the 8 hours were over and it was almost, it seemed like 100, probably at least 45, 50 of us in there, we took over the hospital. It's really large. My mother come from 12 siblings. And
wow.
The doctor
and they all live there
looked at me. He said,
in Missouri?
I don't know who. They're in Missouri. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And so the hospital was flooded with, because LaKesia was the big dimple. She was like everybody's baby. She was just an amazing kid from day one. And so, she had just stolen the hearts of everybody. And now to hear a baby this sick, everybody just bombarded. That's what my family do. We fight like cats and dogs, but when it comes time to coming together as a family, we come together as a family. So they were all there praying and supporting all of us. And he came out and he said, Miss Rambo, I don't know who you are and I don't know what you did, but as a top brain surgeon for the last 36 years, I've never seen anything like this. And if from a professional level, I could tell you that I got 95% of her brain tumor out. He said, I can't say 100% because if anything happened, I can't be reliable. And I looked him in his eyes, Dr. Horney, I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm a child of God. And I don't serve a 95% God. I serve 100% God. And you have never touched my baby for this brain tumor again. And LaKesia is 18. She graduated June of last year. She just got accepted to her HBCU of choice, Lincoln University.
Woo!
She walked across the stage with high heels on. It was a long road because she had 4 surgeries because of her stroke. Her whole body shifted, so she had to have reconstruction surgery to the entire right side of her body, to her legs. So 9th, 10th, 11th year, she was homeschooled. 12th grade, she was excited to go, and then COVID hit, so she had to be homeschooled again. Her hand is still closed like this, so she had to have constructive surgery on her hand. To this day, she's blind in both her right and her left peripheral vision. She's half deaf in her right ear. But she's numb. She doesn't have feeling on her eyes. But if you were to see her, you would not know any of that because she through. And I told her, you're not disabled. You're just a child that deals with a disability. So I never let her have a pity patty party. We moved to LA 2012 for her to pursue her acting career. She did an amazing job at that up until her ninth grade year when she started having to get surgeries and different stuff like that. It was difficult because she was in a wheelchair for a long time and surgeries kept not doing right. Um, she is an inspiration now because whenever I'm hurting or something goes wrong with me, I think of how when she was in a wheelchair, she didn't complain. I think about when she had to get 67 Botox shots, she cried, but she endured it, and then the enemy started trying to attack her mind and
Don't
different
stop,
things
don't
like
stop,
that.
don't
But
stop,
as a
LaKesia.
mother,
We're gonna go to a real quick break. We're gonna come right back because we want to hear you teach about how you advocated for your child and a little bit more about the story. But
Yes,
we
ma'am.
all have situations where we can lean in and ask you questions about how you advocated for a child all the way up to where she's just brilliant. To go to LA as an actress, you got more to tell us, and we're so excited to hear about that. We have to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back. And you guys stay tuned to We Got Issues, WFDF out of Detroit, 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. Awesome. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We know this time goes fast, 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 fast. We know the time goes so fast, and we're so glad to have this and so glad to have this conversation. Happy Friday, everybody. We're excited to have First Lady LaKesia Ramos Barrett here. And so we want to know a little bit, LaKesia, about how you advocated for your phenomenal daughter. What did it take? What do these women that are listening need to learn from you when it comes to advocating for your child and pushing through when we know to advocate, you many times have to go up against many other people's opinions on what you want to do. So can you talk a little bit about that, a little bit about that journey?
Yes, ma'am. One of the biggest things that I had to go up against was the doctors. The doctors always, especially when I moved to LA, when they start doing a lot of the Botox. I am a esthetician, so I know that Botox is very cosmetic, and I know that after a while it starts, your body start to act to it, respond to it quickly. And so one of the things that I did not like was for them to do a lot of the Botox. They were doing the Botox because she was too young to do the surgery. I didn't want her to start doing surgery until her high school years because I wanted her body to grow into the changes. I didn't want them to just be using her as a guinea pig, cutting on her and just doing a bunch of things. They wanted her to do a lot of nerve medicine. And I said, well, if God is, replacing her nerves, I don't want you to give medicine that's going to go against what God is doing. And so, they used to be like, well, she needs to do this, she needs to do that. So God healed her from cancer. You guys are not going to have her, on medicine. And so I had to go against the doctors a lot, but I had to go by faith. And everything before she went to a doctor, before I spoke, I always prayed and said, Lord, what is your will? Because I didn't want to be that mother. And I would tell them, all due respect, I respect you as a doctor, but as a Christian, I have to go off of what God is telling me to do. And he's not telling me to, do another surgery. They wanted to do another surgery at one time, to go in and what they called a Gabby gun and go in and zap out the 5% of the tumor that they left. And I said, no. They sent it to a specialist. The specialist came back, said the parent is absolutely right. We can't guarantee if it's scar tissues or if it's a tumor.
Right.
I don't want to do radiation and a Gabby gun on a 4-year-old. So basically, my thing is having faith. And then people say, well, how do you know if you're hearing from God? Hindsight is you don't know under the fact most of the time, but the things that God told me to do didn't make sense. And I just had to trust in him. They say have faith the size of a mustard seed. Have you ever seen one? It's smaller than a grain of salt. It's really, really small. And my prayer was, Lord, don't move the mountain. Give me the strength to climb the mountain so that when I get on top of this mountain, I can look down and say, ha, I defeated you. So I look at brain tumors. I look at cancer. When people come to me now in sickness, I tell them, I hear what the doctors are saying. I hear what you're saying, but doctors practice medicine. No disrespect toward any doctor because they work hard. We need them. I love them. Doctors helped to save my daughter's life. But there are 3 teachers. Ebony Echoes, I love her to death. Miss Michelle and Miss O'Hara. If it were not for those teachers, we would not be having a conversation. They stayed on baby, they stayed on her. And my daughter would have had a stroke at that school had they not stayed on me to take her to the doctor. And then we would not have known why she had a stroke, why she was sick. But because they stayed on me, I made a doctor's appointment. Miss Ebony Echoes, I called her finally after I was able to hear it. And I got everything on tape. My cousin Quashina brought her video recorder up to the hospital. I recorded everything, you guys, and I'm looking to turn it into a lifetime story because LaKezia's story is amazing, and people need to understand that there are survivors out there.
Right. That's amazing. Caterina, you want to add something?
I wanted to just ask you to elaborate a little bit more, LaKesia, on how you. I wanted to ask you to really elaborate a little bit more on how you coached or how you talked to your daughter about her own faith and praying for her own self and just having her walk through this. It sounds like she inspired you along the way, but I'm sure there were times you had to speak into her life specifically.
Day one, I always taught her how to pray for herself. you know, as a little girl. After she came out of surgery, she went to my grandfather. Her name is LaKesia and I'm LaKesia. She said, Granddaddy, I want you to baptize me because I want to be born again. And two things, I don't want you to drown me, and I want a new name, and I want to be able to eat the but I just teach her how to pray for herself. And I tell her, I say, LaKesia, you know, God allows things to happen to bad people. He allowed bad things to happen to good people. But if you constantly pray and just find your own connection with God, then, you know, you're going to go through life going through obstacles. She has suicidal thoughts. There was at times when she was cutting herself. There were times when in her 8th grade year, kids teased her so much. She called me one day screaming and crying. This little boy threw a ball at her. He was teasing her. I was going up there ready to fight kids. I shouldn't have, but I was. And when I got there, they were going to expel the little boy. And she said to the principal, well, you know, he's young. He doesn't understand what's going on. You should just suspend him. And I'm like, wait a minute. He got you crying. Don't you know they let her go before the whole school, tell her story. So she showed the braid. I forgot that part when she before the doctor's appointment, she was being swung on a swing by Miss Echoes one day. Her braid got stuck onto the swing. The whole braid got snatched out of her head. They called me. They was like, LaKesia, braid came out of her head. I thought they were talking about the beads. She had a ball patch in her head. This
Lord,
the braid. So I still have the braid. I wish I would have been home because the braids still have her hair and the particles from her scalp stuck on the braid, kept it. So she took that to school. She showed the kids the braid. She showed them all of her IV things because I kept everything. Those kids start crying. Bullies start standing up, apologizing for being bullied. Other kids start talking about having eczema. Kids used to think that she got ran over by a car or that they didn't know what was wrong with her. And because we're AFO, she wore this brace on her leg. And so people bullied her. She wanted to commit suicide. She started smoking weed. She went through all that. And I just kept telling her, you know, I was the best oil owner. I thought I was going to lose my baby there for a minute because
right.
It got real bad. And I kept it. You told me she's not my child. You lent her to me. So I'm giving her back to you. And you got to take charge of her. Today, she don't smoke weed. She go to church 3 days a week. She belongs to my Uncle Sam's
Can you
church,
believe it?
where she's
oh my
around
gosh,
other
right.
youth.
Right at the end, right
did
at
a
the
180.
end, LaKesia. Can you hear us? Right at the end, they're going to stop the show. The music's playing, but tell them a little bit about the clothesline that you have on real quick right there, and we'll put it out there. But tell them a little bit about that before Jalen puts us all the way out. Tell them.
So this is my clothing line, Boo Bonnie. Black unity brings our nation independence. You can get it on Instagram, Boo Bonnie _more. And this is my clothing line, my butt guy. So everything is me. And thank you guys for having me. Listen, much prayer, little power. I didn't do this by myself. I did it with a village. It takes a village. It takes a village. Don't give up. God give on you. Live your best life is living your blessed life. What God did for my daughter and for me, He will do for you. But you gotta keep pressing forward. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That was awesome. That was so awesome. We're so glad to have you. We will go look up your Instagram and put it out there, all the way out there. So we love you. Thank you so much for bringing your heart, your story, your brilliance. We'll talk to you later, you guys. We got issues. We'll see you Monday, 6 to 7 p.m. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Have a happy weekend.
Bye-bye.